My first date. It was a radiant Sunday morning and I was searching vigorously for something which is very important. I was standing in our room right next to the bed with hands on my waist. This room is so clean and organized, it's difficult to find something like this. I am not used to this, I said with a higher tone as it should reach the kitchen. But what do you want? A voice came from the kitchen. I didn't reply. I started searching everything, the drawer next to the bed, a small desk which is located close to balcony of that room. It is a small desk with 3x3 drawers with a flower vase and a photo frame on it. The best part of my search is I take out everything and put them on the floor. Hey breakfast, the same voice came again, this time along with the man possessing that voice. He came holding a plate full of sandwiches. By the time he came, I was deeply involved in the search, sitting on the floor with everything around me and some of the things on me. So you find what you want? He exclaimed by looking at me. I nodded my head horizontally. Is that a sandwich? I am so hungry. I left everything behind and walked towards him, who is standing on the other side of the bed. There are 4 sandwiches and the topmost sandwich has a ketchup heart on it. Yum. You are the best cook ever, Abimanu. I gulped the sandwich into my mouth. They are so delicious. I finished 2 sandwiches and kept exchanging innocent looks between the third sandwich and at him. Okay. Eat this also. I will make some more. He smiled and offered. You are the sweetest husband. I ate the third sandwich in one gulp. But what are you searching for? He asked again, holding the empty plate. I ignored that question again and resumed my search. He went back to the kitchen. After some time forgot what I was searching and was reminiscing about the things I found. I opened a small wooden box and I found a star-shaped shell. I smiled broadly and shouted, look what I found. Pineapple. He came with other set of sandwiches and a glass of pineapple juice. Look. I jumped onto the bed and moved towards him. You remember this? I asked with a widened smile. You remember our first date? I winked. Drink this. He offered me the juice and deliberately ignored my question. I kept moving that shell against his face and he kept ignoring it. I finished the juice quickly and boomeranged to the shell topic. So you remember our first date, pineapple? I winked and was poking the shell on his hand. You want anything else? He asked. Yes, the answer, I said. He smiled and walked back to the kitchen. It was before 6 months that I first saw him in my house. It was a marriage proposal. He came along with his parents and all our relatives were there. He said, hi. I smiled and replied, hi. That's it. We got engaged. I was cursing who said it was a very auspicious day and who insisted to exchange rings at that very moment. It was just 30 minutes before I saw him for the first time in my life and just said hi. And he became my fiancé. I was very puzzled because we don't know each other and getting engaged just after seeing a guy for the first time. I was in shock, wearing an exclamatory face mask, and kept looking at the ring, and it took me a week to figure out and believe that I actually got engaged. After a few days, he planned a tour for both of us in a resort in Goa. We headed to Goa. We were just exchanging awkward smiles and just having a very formal conversation. We reached Goa and I liked the resort very much. It was around 5 p.m. He asked me to go to the beach, which is very near to the resort. As went there, I stood speechless for a moment. The arrangement he made was just astounding. There was a table neatly decorated with flowers all over with 2 chairs. The waiter from the resort showed me the way towards it and asked me to wait for Abimanu. I sat there. The scenery was just fantabulous, the frisky waves which are reaching up to my knee and the wind was so romantic. It was so perfect for our first date. As I turned right, saw Abimanu coming in white shorts and orange t-shirt. He was looking very fascinating, but my eyes fell on something which kept me dazed. He came and sat uncomfortably. "Is that a tube around your waist?" I exclaimed. "Yeah. The waiter said they don't have life jackets and I don't know how to swim," he replied very calmly. "Are we swimming?" I got very excited. "No. No swimming, only eating, but just in case for safety I wore it," he replied. I tried my best not to laugh. I literally wanted to do the ROFL thing. The waiter came again and placed 2 plates which are covered with a lid and left. I opened it. I was extremely surprised. There was a slice of cake in the middle of the plate and "I love you" written with chocolate sauce around the cake, and a ring covered with a plastic cover was placed on the top of the cake. I got very excited. That was the best moment ever. I picked up the ring and blushed. He came towards me and kneeled down by the side of tides. He was about to hold my hand. Suddenly he got slipped into the beach along with a heavy tide. I stood there dumbfounded and undecided whether to laugh or to shout. There were around 10 people along with children and teenagers who were swimming on the beach. He was shouting out loud, "Help, help. Just calm down. The tube around your waist has a purpose. You won't get drowned," I shouted back. But he was hardly listening to anything. He started rotating 360 degrees like a giant wheel along with the waves and continued to scream, "I am dying." I was not able to control my laugh. I gave up on shouting and swam towards him. The other people also swam towards him along with me. We lifted him up with the tube. "Am I dead?" "No, you are not. Open your eyes," I said. We pulled him towards the table and he sat there breathing heavily. Everyone else left laughing out loud. I controlled my laugh to the best I can. He looked at me and opened his right hand fist which he was holding tightly from the time he slipped. It was the ring, and I was happy to see that ring which I thought was lost. He took my hand and slipped the ring on my finger. The atmosphere was more funny than romantic. That moment I saw something shining in his hair. It was a star-shaped shell. After seeing it I was not able to control my laugh. I chortled out and kept laughing until my stomach hurts.